I thank the gentlelady. I thank her for her kind words and her attempt to draft me. In this age of hope and peril, today we all assemble with earnestness and sincerity to discuss matters of liberty and tyranny, matters of life and death. When we see in Afghanistan is a counterinsurgency operation being led by the United States. It is the most difficult and most painful type of military operation to witness because it does involve working with the population, winning hearts and minds, and helping to build the institutions of democracy and liberty at the community and national level, which have been non-existent for decades. But because the cause is difficult does not mean we can turn away, because the Afghan people cannot turn away from it. In 2006, I was fortunate to be on a CODEL with many of my colleagues, and we had the opportunity to meet women who were serving in the Afghan National Assembly. And despite the difficulties in translation, it was very clear that they wanted to accomplish two things. They wanted to serve the Afghan people who entrusted them with their positions, and they wanted to honor the men and women of the United States military who had risked and given so much for them to have that opportunity. In this debate today, as I said, I deeply appreciate the sincerity and earnestness of this debate because, in this instance, clearly, it is not one based upon partisan division, but one upon the dictates of conscience. But I think it is very important that we look into this situation and see that it is not simply the United States that is involved here, that it is not simply a question of leaving without consequence. Because if we leave now, if we back this resolution, there will be consequences to the female Afghanistan National Assembly parliamentarians who are trying to build freedom within that country. In my discussion with those brave women, they brought up how difficult it was for them, how hard it would be to build a sustainable democracy, to build an economy, to build, in many ways, what we here take for granted. And I said to them it was very important to remember that the United States itself was not always a great national power and a beacon of hope and freedom. That in our darkest days after the revolution, there were many who thought this free republic would fail. There were enemies who sought its destruction. And yet, at the founding time, the people of the United States and their leaders were able to take this nascent democracy and turn it into one that not only secured freedom for itself, but expanded it to others. And I said that within the halls of the United States Congress and within the halls of our institutions, you can see the pictures of founders like Jefferson and Madison hanging from the walls to remind us of what we've endured, what we enjoy, and what we must return. And I told the Afghan National Assembly women that one day their daughters and granddaughters would look down, look up, and see on the walls their portraits hanging in a free Afghanistan that was allied with the free world against terrorism and was a beacon itself to those who were oppressed. Because they will be free, and because we will honor our duty not to seek miserly to hold our own freedom for ourselves, but because we will follow what Lincoln said, in seeking to extend freedom to the enslaved, we ensure freedom for ourselves. We will continue to stand with the Afghan people. We will continue to honor the commitment to the solemn word of the United States that she gave to that country. And one day we will look back and we will be proud for the votes we cast today. I yield.